Okay. Hi, my name is Shandell Bailey, and today I will be presenting to you the autism stigma and perceptions of ABA therapy in minority communities, embracing differences. A little backstory, I work with ABA therapy right now. It's applied behavior analyst, and I feel like it is very preventive. It is very effective, especially for those children being diagnosed with autism. And it gives them the extra help that they need and readiness. So when they're out in the real world, they can do just as much as a normal person. Um, but it's something that we need to bring more awareness to. Me also substitute teaching, and I have in the first-hand experience with certain classrooms and certain neighborhoods and certain cultures, and I've noticed the lack of ABA therapy in certain neighborhoods, also early intervention. So I said, why not bring awareness to it? Because I think this is something we should talk about as people. But yes, let's get into it. Okay, introduction. Autism spectrum disorder affects many children, but access to early intervention services can vary across certain communities. In minority communities, stigma and about developmental conditions may influence how parents respond to the diagnosis. This study explores how stigma affects parents' willingness to seek services such as ABA therapy. My research question and hypothesis is to determine whether parental stigma influences service utilization. The hypothesis predicts that parents who experience more stigma are less likely to seek developmental support for their children. Literature review, autism stigma. Affiliate stigma is an important factor influencing parental decisions. When parents feel judged or ashamed about their child's diagnosis, they may delay seeking services or help, discussing the condition, especially with professionals, because of embarrassment or shame. Literature review, service utilization. This study found that stigma can significantly influence whether families seek services or not. Differences in services used among racial groups highlight importance of cultural responsive support. Literature reviews stigma help in seeking. The research highlighting how stigma influences help seeking behaviors. When stigma exists within communities, individuals may avoid seeking professional support even when the services are available. And we may see this a lot, especially for me, certain cultures, especially certain religious cultures also believe like, oh, my child is not stupid. They don't need this. They don't need that. And it's just delaying the child's growth, not just academically. It affects them in behaviors as well in other areas of their life because they're not able to communicate their way they need to or the way everybody else is. So now it's like they're trying to figure out themselves in the world. So it affects everybody, not just the parents, especially the child. Methods and study design. Correlation design is used because a study examines relationship between variables rather than manipulating them. Participants will be recruited through community networks and online platforms. And me working in certain schools, I was able to speak to some parents already to ask. So I'm really excited to go through these interviews. Variables and data collection. Stigma will be measured using validated survey tools. Service utilization will be measured by the number and types of services children receive. So we have the independent variable, the dependent, and the actual measurement. Hypothetically, data presentation. A Pearson correlation will determine whether stigma levels are associated with service utilization. A negative correlation would indicate that higher stigma corresponds with lower service use. Okay, so this is future research. Um, I feel like it should focus on programs that reduce stigma and improve awareness in minority communities. So it's bringing that awareness to ABA therapies, to the early intervention. Um, and also sometimes I think people forget, we have people in our corners with certain communities, especially being certain professionals, we're able to advocate for certain individuals, especially individuals who lack the knowledge of, so a lot of them are not familiar with what these therapies and early intervention and support groups and support um, things that they have, wonderful things, community-based things that they have for the schools and these children, but they're not too familiar with it. So it's more so sometimes we do need certain professionals to advocate, to speak up for these programs, to, to make meetings, sometimes bring the parents in with a snack and just bring that to the table because it's something they should all know and have, at least is them to say no. But as long as I feel like if you teach them and show them that it truly works, I don't think the stigma would stay the same because it's it's prevention and it's the evolution of the child. So as long as it's done, I think we should all be fine. And that's what future research consists of. As in the conclusion, overall, reducing stigma is essential to improving access to services and ensuring children with autism receive early support. The earlier, the better. And with that being said, I hope this research is amazing and I hope you enjoyed my presentation. Have a good one. Bye.